asked a lot how I come up with the names for my stores. Now, it's actually quite a simple process that I've followed, and I've just gone through it because I've decided to open a brand new store. So the name that I picked for this store is Velvet Papery. I only opened it 2 days ago, and I'm documenting the whole process in my memberships. And what happened was I decided on a name and then I changed my mind and I changed it to Velvet Papery. So I'm going to show you my whole process and the way that I kind of decide to go with a name and roll with it as my brand. The most important thing that you need to know is that your name does not actually contribute on Etsy to your search ranking at all. So it really doesn't matter if you have keywords in there, but it's really important to pick something which is memorable. Now, as you grow and as you're online longer and longer and longer, you'll notice that your previous customers who are really, really happy with what they got from you will actually refer their friends. And that's really exciting. But it's really important to pick a name which is memorable and not too long so that it's easy for people to refer their friends to you in future. That is the main thing that I recommend. And another thing that I also recommend is to make sure that the name that you've picked isn't infringing on any trademarks or other brands which are currently existing. So a couple of ways that I like to do this. Now, the very first one, I always search trademarks. So you can do an international search. This is the Australian one. So Velvet Papery. And you'll have one which corresponds to where you're operating as well. And as you can see, there's nothing which has been returned. So there's no trademarks currently which infringe on this name. So I am safe to go with Velvet Papery because I'm operating in Australia and it should be fine. So based on this, I can see that there's nothing really out there in terms of the name Velvet Papery that would, I guess, upset anyone or make them feel like I'm copying them, because we always want to be unique and we always want to build a brand with integrity. Now, another thing I really like to do is just go and search on Facebook, because a lot of the time there will be a business page which is associated with the brand. So, Velvet Papery. You can see there's the Velvet Paper Shop, May Paper Shop Velvet. So there's nothing else which is sort of coming up. This is my branding that I've posted in my membership. So I've just shared that with them, which is exciting. And you can see this is a bookbinding company. So nothing has come up in the Facebook search, which is great. Now, another thing I like to do is do a quick domain search. So I buy a lot of my domains through Crazy Domains, but you might like to use GoDaddy, or Venture IP is another great one. So Velvet Papery, just search that one. The Australian version, oh, that's just the .au. Beautiful. So you can see the .com is available, which is great. That's fantastic. So at this point in time, it looks like there's nothing which is a conflict for this brand name, which is fantastic. So that's 2 ticks there. Now, how did I come up with the name? That's a great question as well. There's a couple of places I love to look just to kind of get some inspiration and have words kind of in my head. So one of these places is Pinterest. And what I love to do is look up products in my niche. So obviously Velvet Papery is going to be wedding niche. So I would look up wedding invitations. And I just love to see what other words people are using. So that is one way to kind of spur on your imagination, I guess. Another place that I love to look for inspiration in terms of naming things is Creative Market. And I love to look at font names because there's lots of really great ones in here. I was very close to calling the business something related to heirloom, kindred spirit, those kind of things. So I think those words came from here, and it did lead me through to the name Velvet Papery in a roundabout kind of way. So you can sort of look at what all these fonts are named, which is a great idea as well, just to kind of spark some ideas for you. Again, we never want to copy. We just want to be kind of looking at different words and thinking what would work for my brand name. And And then finally, once you've got a couple of words which are going to be relevant to your ideal client, what you can do is you can write them down on a page, and then you can start adding things associated with your industry. So if you are, for example, thinking of doing wedding stationery or stationery, great ideas would be like paperco, papery spelt with an IE on the end, stationery, invitations, those kind of words. If you're thinking planner niche, you would do planners or organization hub, things like that. So really, I guess combining that word, which is like unique, combined with something which is industry based, is a really great formula. And that's sort of how I do things. So I'm really excited to share this new store with you as I grow it. I am just, as I mentioned, I started 2 days ago, and basically I did a poll in my memberships, and most people told me they have between 2 to 4 hours to spend on their stores. So I'm making it my mission to not spend more than 4 hours a day on this store, and I'm going to document the whole growth on social media, and I'm going to give my members an inside sort of view and give them all the resources as I go. So I'm really excited to see how it goes. I'll keep you guys up to date and let you know when I get my first sale. Very excited, and I hope this video helped you kind of think of some names